Guys, welcome back to the channel where my conditioner straight up hates me. I do my hair every night. You would think it would look great. I really probably need to get some Arctic Fox and redo it, and then it will be fire engine red, and you'll be like, eh? They have a clear, but I like the red. Anyhow, we were having a lively discussion about Satan last night, and I'm not going to run away from the topic. It seems like the more we say the word Satan, the more the view count goes up. Satan, honestly, to me, as we were talking back and forth, they took everything we hold sacred as pagans, like sex and gambling and all the fun, because we have gods of these specific things. Hermes is the god of gambling and self-pleasure. A lot, getting giggles back here. A lot of gods enjoy sex. A lot enjoy parties. We have Dionysus. Anything we held fun and sacred in that were part of the sacred holy rites of other gods, they condemn. You have to understand that's a huge part of their religion, that everybody else is wrong and they're the only ones that are right. And why they didn't just go along with all the pagans, nobody knows. They figured they would hate us and they would disagree with us. And it's fine to disagree with other people's way of practicing. But for thousands of years, they've taken it like way too far. So that's the only thing we get talk of. And I kept talking to Loki, and I said, Satan's a really nice guy. If Church Satan has all these qualities of all of our gods, he looks like Pan. Not really. Most Satanists will say, hey, he's pretty. But they say he looks like Pan and, all this other stuff. And he's this great guy that's into free will and self-determination and embracing your own power. And of course, Satan came toddling back in after a while. It wasn't that he would abandon me or anything. It was just, I can get really keyed up, and then Loki's the only one that can deal with me. And I've just been working with him and Pazuzu, and Lilith, not so much. Lilith sometimes comes in to make sure everything's okay, and then she goes out. And, who else? Oh, Mammon. And I've been thinking about Leviathan, and people have been mentioning a lot of demons because, a lot of demons lately, I really wasn't paying attention, but like over like the last decade or so, demon appearances in movies has really ramped up. And why? I honestly think it's just Hollywood being Hollywood. They run in cycles. They're going out of the magical cycle of magical children and magical this and that, and they're going into the demon cycle. They're going out God cycle and they're going into the demon cycle. So, there's that. But there's also the fact that, if you tell people they're bad enough, you create your own enemies. The church actually, in a way, please don't get angry, laid the groundwork for that kind of Satanism. Because if you tell people they're bad and they're going to hell and the only one that wants them is Satan, where do you think they're gonna run to? They're gonna run to Satan crying and saying, what did I do wrong? And Satan's gonna be like, I don't even know, right? I just wanted equal rights and all of a sudden I'm down here. So I'm getting howls of laughter clapping back here. So, that's what happened. They kind of shot themselves in the foot. When you tell people that there are two powers and that the one hates your ass is going to send you to live with the other one for all eternity, some people will be like, okay, and go over there and be like, yeah, party. So that happened. And I was looking up, and I think it was Satan giving me a little push. I hear the unsubs now. There's this guy that dresses up as Satan in Salem, and I think he's an atheist, okay? And I have no problem with atheists that aren't running around trying to actively destroy every other religion. He dresses up as Satan, and he gets free hugs because they have these Halloween events in Salem, and as you know, actual witches and everybody else is there. It's like Mardi Gras. Well, these groups go there to try to save people's souls. Now, some of them have been nice to this guy. They really have. And some have been real dicks. As one person told a little girl dressed up as Elsa she was going to hell. And we have one of these assholes in town that, if she's still alive, hands out chick tracklets to children telling them they're going to hell, and the only person that loves them is Satan. So I'm sure she's created quite a few Satanists over the decades, come to think of it. Because I would read that every Halloween and be like, "Do you really love me, Satan?" So, anyhow, it really upset him. So he went out and he got a mask and he got like the robes and everything. He dressed up like Satan and he gives out free hugs. And some of the Christians are cool with it. They're not all dickheads, okay? Some of them are cool with it and they actually wish him well because he's spreading love. That's what they're supposed to be about. But people really love the hugs. They love the free Satan hugs. And they had pictures of like there have been people that I don't know if they work with him or what, but they dress up as cute little she demons and they go around, they give hugs, and it's like, oh, that's awesome. That would be what Satan would do. It's like I looked at the news last night, man, and the evangelicals are treating Trump like the second coming of Christ, and I just needed to hide under Satan for a while and talk to Loki about how I think we found the Antichrist. And Satan's like, nope, no kid of mine. He said my child would have manners. So it's actually, I think they're resurging. I think demons are resurging because we need them to. They realize the vast majority of people either don't believe in them, or if they do believe in them, people are more open now to various beliefs, and we're not living in the 16th century anymore. I've been talking with one of you, and we've agreed it's funny how these demons look so fantastical when the church was describing them. Well, one, I think the church fathers did a lot of drugs. I really think they did. And two, I know they were reaching into the pagan grab bag of awesome. Like they used a lot of dragons. We have a lot of gods associated with dragons, or they had a lot of dragons already here when they came in heathen lore, and dragons weren't necessarily evil. It was just they guarded treasure. Now, whether you see that as a metaphor or literal dragons is up to debate. I've worked with dragons. They're perfectly fine. They're not dragging you off anywhere. They have no concept of this. And, they would have, like, Valak we were talking about. He's supposed to be a cherubon, like a two-headed dragon. Some people say, like, seven-headed. Some people say, like, all these other heads. And there are demons that look like a man riding a camel. And there's the one demon that looks almost like a carbon copy of Ganesh. And, we have giant serpents like Leviathan, who is absolutely adorable. And you know how they made Satan look and, everything else. And I think they were just reaching into the pagan grab bag, and anything they saw people still practicing, they needed to crush what they saw as their enemy. And unfortunately, the enemy wasn't Satan, it was another belief system. But as we were talking about, I'm like, it's funny. If enough people practiced, say they made up Satan, and I'm not trying to upset Satanists, say they made up Satan entirely, and there was never Satan in their heaven, and he never fell. All the centuries of being worshipped and being loved and being sought as recourse, something has to be there to answer prayers. But I'm open to it. I'm like, if it's Satan that fell from heaven, I'm fine. I will work with anyone, Satan included, as long as they treat me well. If they treat me well, I treat them well. That's like my only requirement. And people have been asking about a lot of the demons, and there are a lot of demons that appeared in Supernatural or whatever. There are lists of hundreds, thousands of demons. People that work with demons for decades will tell you there are literally like millions of demons. I can't possibly have worked with them all. So I love and respect them all, but I can't have possibly worked with them all. But I will tell you to be very careful. If you're going back to the church records and you're looking at something, approach them respectfully and ask them if, after you're polite and you see how they are and you make pleasant conversation, ask them if they are concerned with, say, finding treasure, like Valak is supposed to be able to find treasure because the Dragon Association, I'm assuming. And ask them if, they're willing to work with you and, go from there. But, it's anything the church wanted for themselves became bad. We have to think of that when we're working with demons. So to me, demons are absolutely not the bad guy. In fact, we played a game last night that was filled with lots of rage, and I almost wonder who the people are that made it, because there was a satanic panic in the 80s. It was absolutely bullshit crazy. people were going crazy. People were getting killed in exorcisms because priests were fucking this shit up. Because there's a big difference between whether you believe in that or not and mental health issues. And you always have the possibility that the people doing it are just screwed up in the head as well. It's a bad idea in general all around to perform an exorcism in the first place, and it's a bad idea all around to let the Catholic Church be even remotely involved. Real, but you had the Satanic Panic, and Satan was everywhere, and people were performing exorcisms, and people were developing psychosis where they thought they had the devil inside them, and they didn't. It wasn't all spiritual stuff. This was just people were going fucking nuts, because drugs ran like waterfalls in the 80s, and that's all you have to know. And, it was unfortunate. And this game we played was obviously a long-held response of rage to that, where, you play as this priest, and he just continually gets his ass kicked by these demons. Once I realized what the game was all about, I thought it was funny. Like, you walk his ass through a cornfield, he gets killed by a demon. Satan's chasing him, going, worship me, worship me. And, and it's like, I don't take offense to it, because I can see the rage it was born from. And then there's a second stage where you try to get into a house, and the house is locked, and there must be a key somewhere, but some other unknown demon or some cultist kept kicking my ass. I mean, this priest can't fight worth shit. And then there's a third one where that's my favorite level, where you are in a hotel, and there's like 10 floors, I think, and there's no 7th floor or something. It's crazy, and it's really well made, and it's clear that there's a lot of rage over, what Satanists were accused of, because they were always being accused of, like, chopping people up into little bits and everything else, and it was bad. And you would actually, I remember, you would see actual Satanists try to get on TV or try to write articles in the paper or something and say, no, we're either atheists, which vast majority of Satanists are atheistic Satanists. And for theistic Satanists, you have to ask them who they believe in. Do they believe in Satan the God? Many people believe he's, I'm going to screw this name up, Inke, or Baal, or I've seen El, or I've seen Pluto, or, whomever. Or do they believe in the fallen Satan? If they do, that's their right to believe or practice as they want. So it's just been interesting, and I felt really calm last night as I dealt with him. And Loki's been fine with this, by the way. Loki hasn't abandoned me to the devils, so to speak. He hasn't abandoned me, and Odin hasn't abandoned me. Odin just says he wants me to be, serious about the training, serious about trying to learn the lessons and grow and develop as a person. He's like, that's all Odin's asking for. Odin's happy. Odin's happy having Mammon here because he has another wolf here now. The church kind of bit itself in the ass because Mammon, one of his descriptions is as a wolf-headed man. Or, he's associated with wolves. And of course, Satan's associated with all the animals we love, like goats and bats and black cats. Any Halloween animal, Satan animal. Any animal they decide they don't like came from Satan. I saw some woman claim that there were a group of demons in a library that appeared as beer cups. Make of that what you will. I'm like, what? Beer cups? They're not even scary. Damn it. They're like the cuddliest thing on the planet. Those big eyes and them big paws. Seriously? This scared you? Okay. The only thing I can say is, would I believe or experience? If you're going to approach someone with fear, and if you're going to label them as evil in the sense of they're out to harm you and you're going to be terrified of them, they're going to respond to that. We've all had the experience, even me, with being one of the least threatening looking humans on the planet, of feeling fear from either an animal or another human being, and we don't like it, right? We get frustrated and we keep trying to approach them, right? And we keep trying to make friends, and they keep being fearful and they keep running away from us. And maybe they attack us if they're scared enough, and then maybe we get angry and we attack back because we're like, we're just trying to make friends. We're not even harmful. And it's just an automatic response because nobody likes to be be afraid of. But you have to do you. If something truly terrifies you, don't even work with it. One thing I would say about working with demons, if the concept frightens you, don't do it because you're going to have a bad time. It's just like Loki or Odin. If the only thing you can see are what people would label satanic, or demon-style Loki, or demon-style Odin, even though they have nothing to do with that because it's not even a concept in the old religion, don't work with them. If you can only see this guy that's going to drag you off to the non-existent version of heaven hell, don't work with Loki. If the only thing you can see when you work with Odin is this evil old man who sits on a throne and plots for souls, don't work with Odin. You're going to get what you're going to treat them as. We know that much. So, I hope you guys are having a good day. We got like a teeny tiny bit of snow. There's literally like this much snow out on the stump and it's melting. It's like there's like this tiny little line of snow here and like a tiny little bit of snow there. We are going to go out if it hasn't melted already and look at it, but I want to make a video for you guys first. And I appreciate those who stay with the channel. I certainly did not intend to ever start talking about demons, but it just came out. And there's nothing bad about it. I think I avoided the topic as long as I did because there's nothing bad about it, and you just have to wait until you're willing to have the discussion. But there's nothing bad with working with demons. There's nothing bad even if you're looking at it from the Catholic sense and working with them. Only you know if you're hurting yourself. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.